There's a wonderful book about the high holidays called This is Real, and You Are Completely Unprepared. The very first sentence is, you are walking through the world half asleep. You don't know who you are. On the simplest level, the high holy days are about waking up. They are a ritual reminder that this life is the only one we have, and we need to pay attention in order not to waste it. We need to ask ourselves who we are, what we're doing here at this very moment in our lives and in this world. We need to ask ourselves what in our life needs to change and how do we need to change. In Hebrew, these days are called Yamim Noraim, days of awe, days that are filled with awe, with wonder, and with gratitude, and days that are filled with terror. We have gratitude for the gift of life and all its blessings, and then there's the terror that comes from confronting life's fragility. So how does one wake up? Well, first, there's a very ancient alarm clock, the shofar. For the entire month of Elul, the month that comes before Rosh Hashanah, we sound the shofar every morning to wake us up. There are three powerful sounds: a sound of brokenness, a sound of sobbing, and a sound of triumph and wholeness. And every day in the month of Elul, we work on ourselves. Tikkun nefesh, remembering the year about to end and taking an accounting of our souls. And we ask for forgiveness, first from other people, and then from God. So here's the tradition. We're supposed to make a list of everyone we know, everyone with whom we interact, and especially everyone important to us. And we're supposed to say to each one of them, will you forgive me for anything I might have said or done that hurt you this year? So think about that for a moment. Pick out a friend or a family member with whom there's been some tension, some hurt, some feelings of being let down. Now, imagine inviting him or her out for coffee, and then asking over your decaf cappuccino, will you forgive me for anything I might have done or said this year that hurt you? Think about that. It's not so easy to imagine, is it? Because if you take it seriously, if they take it seriously, that question will lead to other questions like, well, what did you do? What did you say? And then the questions will lead to a conversation about hurt feelings, about unresolved anger, about unfinished business. Maybe you'll feel defensive. Maybe it'll be hard for you to listen to what they're saying. Maybe you'll want to respond, well, you let me down as well. But maybe, if you both really listen as well as talk, maybe the conversation will continue long enough to clear up some of the stuff that's been getting in the way of being close. And maybe after the conversation, you'll discover a new depth in the relationship. Maybe you'll even feel some lightness around your chest, a lifting of some baggage that maybe you didn't even know you were carrying. That's the beginning of waking up. And then, lighter and more awake, we're ready to enter Rosh Hashanah, the new year. We eat apples and honey and a round challah, circles representing eternity and beginning again. Then on Rosh Hashanah afternoon, we go to the beach for tashlich. We throw crumbs into the water. The crumbs represent sins, all those actions and thoughts that make us feel bad about ourselves. And because we've worked on ourselves, because we've reflected on the past year, because we've apologized to other people, because we've forgiven those we can forgive, because of all this work, then we can forgive ourselves as well. We can begin again. We can change. We say, Shana Tova Tikatevu. Shana means year. It also means change. May it be a good year. May it be a good change. And Tikatevu. May you be written and inscribed in the book of life. So the metaphor is that there's a book of life and a book of death. I understand that metaphor to be the essential part of the wake-up call. Some of us will live another year, and some of us will die. Mostly, that's out of our control. But how we live is in our control. And what we make out of the time we have left is in our own hands. The tradition gives us the tools to make our lives a blessing. Tefillah, teshuvah, tefillah, and tzedakah. What's teshuvah? Teshuvah is turning. It means you can change. You're never stuck where you are. Tefillah, the word means prayer. Really, it means you're not alone. You can choose to be part of a community. You can open your heart to the presence of wonder and gratitude that some people call God. And tzedakah. Your actions do matter. You can be part of healing the pain in our world by how you treat other people and how you live in our world. The days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are for us to deepen the work, to get it straight, to remember that this is real. The work culminates on Yom Kippur when we do what we avoid doing most of the time. On Yom Kippur, we admit that we are going to die. It's kind of a near-death experience. Who shall live and who shall die? One of the prayers asks. All the rituals of the day make it impossible to hide. Some people even dress in a kittel, a white garment in which they someday will be buried. You can't get more in your face than that. We don't eat, we don't drink, we don't bathe, we don't adorn ourselves by wearing leather, and we don't comfort ourselves through intimacy with our partners. We spend the entire day in synagogue, alone, yet in the midst of a very full congregation, joining our voices in confession with everyone else. We speak about our sins in the plural, for the sins we have committed against you by gossip, for the sins we've committed against you by lying. Even if I haven't committed a particular sin, I am part of a community, and therefore, I too am responsible. It's an intense day, with the metaphoric gates of heaven open to my prayer, the prayer that I find a way to bring meaning and purpose into my life, no matter how much or how little time I have left. And then the day ends with Ne'ilah, an image of the gates closing. For me, the most powerful moment of the season is that moment at Ne'ilah, as the gates are closing. In our synagogue, Temple Emanuel of Beverly Hills, we invite to come forward anyone who wants to stand in front of the open ark before it's closed. anyone who still has work to do before they are ready to enter a new year. The entire sanctuary is filled with people, well over 1,000, and yet it's completely silent. People come up to the bima and they wait patiently for their few minutes before the open ark. I see tears running down their faces. They get it. This is real. They are awake. And because they have done this work, because they have opened their hearts to tshuva, tefillah, and tzedakah, because of all this, they are ready to begin a new year. Shana Tova Tikatevu.